Hello my beautiful beading friends, welcome to Misty Moon Designs. Today we're going to be opening up Didi's Deluxe Bead box for the month of October and I can hardly wait. You know how much I love that box. And then after we take a look at the contents, we're going to make a very pretty bracelet. Now if you're not familiar with Didi's Deluxe Bead box, I'll leave some information down below in the description section of this video, along with a link to the website and a coupon code in case you're interested. And don't forget that I always leave timestamps down below, so if you want to skip straight to the tutorial, you can. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And here we have Didi's Deluxe Bead box for the month of October 2025. A little bit about this box. It's not a subscription, it's a limited edition box, and it sells for $39.99 in Canadian dollars. Now in US dollars it changes because of the exchange rate, and I believe this time it sold for $29.10, but it all depends on the exchange rate whenever the box goes on sale. And by the way guys, the box is sold out. These boxes do sell out very quickly. They sell on a first come first served basis. So if you don't want to miss out, I recommend that you go to their Facebook group page so you can keep track of when they release the next box. And they usually do it on the 12th of each month. But anyway, these boxes are absolutely amazing. And I'm not exaggerating guys, they really do a good job of curating the contents of these boxes. Now if you missed out on buying the box, you can always go to the website to see if they sell any extras. Sometimes they do, but most of the contents are exclusive to the box. So let's go ahead and see what's in it. And it looks like the name of the box is Fall Fever. And here are all the contents. As you can see, they have a description of each bead, the size of the beads, the length of the strands. And down below are all their online addresses, their Facebook group page, their online store, and a direct link to the bead box. And what a gorgeous fall palette. I tell you what, these boxes always impress me. Let's take the items out. How beautiful are these beads? Oh my gosh. And we have some bronze components as well. Let me get organized and we'll go through each item. Here are the first 5 strands. There's a total of 10 strands in this month's box. And this one is super long. Look at that. I believe it's 15.5 inches long. But I love this top one. It's my favorite strand. It's called the Inspired by Czech Designer strand. And each box usually comes with one. Let's take a look. How gorgeous are these beads? Look at that. We have this beautiful one in the center, this flower bead, in a kind of amber or reddish color. And we have this one at the end, which looks like a kind of a bicone. Then we have the 6mm bead, the yellow one, right there. And then we have this flower bead in a very pretty sandy color. And then we have a spacer bead in a copper color. We have this leaf bead, it's green. And then we have this one, which is a different shade of green. It's kind of a cross between amber and green, very interesting. We have a metal spacer bead right here in a gold color. We have a melon bead in a reddish color. We have this gorgeous coin bead with a gold wash and it's transparent. We have another one of these sandy colored flower beads. We have a bead cap. And I guess this one is more of a reddish tone, I would say. It's difficult to see. Let me get a light behind it. Let's take a look. I guess it's amber with a little bit of red running through it. It's a combination, very pretty. And it has a gold wash. And then on the left is a repeat of what's on the right. How beautiful is this strand? I love it. Let's take a look at this one. This one's another long strand. It measures 15 inches in length. And these are called Canadian Nephrite Jade gemstones. And they're 6mm in size. Very, very nice shade of green. They're green, but they have a few bluish colored inclusions here and there. Absolutely stunning. And here we have some bamboo tube beads. That's what they're called. And these are also Canadian Nephrite Jade. And the color is olive. They measure 12 by 5mm and this strand is 8 inches long. I love the color and I love the shape. Very pretty. Let's take a look at these. These are lampwork beads. They're cube shaped as you can see. And the glass effect is listed as a marbled forest mix. And you can see why. These beads definitely have a mix of colors. And some sections are actually transparent. This green section right here, it's hard for you to see, but it is a little transparent. And they measure between 5 and 6 millimeters. I love the little seed beads in between. I'll probably end up using them somehow. And that's a 5-inch strand. Let's take a look at these. These are glass beads. And as you can see, they have a mottled effect. The color is orange spice. And these measure 6 millimeters in size. They have a little bit of green as well. I don't know if you guys can see that. And it looks like some of the beads have like a drizzled effect as well. I love these. Very, very nice. Let me get the next 5 strands. And here they are. I love this strand. It's definitely going to add an organic touch to whatever you make. The other nice thing about these boxes is they always give you a variety of sizes. So we have the large beads on this strand and some medium-sized beads and some small ones as well. But this palette is absolutely stunning. It really is. Let's take a look at these. These are listed as natural coconut wood nugget chips, and they measure anywhere between 8 and 9 millimeters, and this is an 8-inch strand. I've worked with coconut wood before, but never this shape. And even though they're nuggets, they're pretty uniform in size. I love how they feel too. They're very smooth. The edges are smooth. Very pretty. And we have a bunch of crystals here. Let's take a look at this one. This strand measures 15 inches in length, and they're listed as 2-tone olive green glass crystals. They're rondelles, and they measure 6 by 4 millimeters. I'm trying to figure out what they mean by 2-tone. Perhaps they're talking about the shades of green. I'm not sure. But the plating on these is out of this world. They sparkle so much. Look at that. Very, very nice. And these are similar in size. I think they're actually the same size, 6 by 4 millimeters. But these are taupe colored. And they have the same kind of plating as well. Very, very sparkly. And this strand is also 15 inches long. Let's take a look at these. These are interesting because they're pear-shaped. They measure 4 millimeters in size, and the color is orange spice. And I would say these are also kind of 2-toned because I'm seeing some shades of light orange and some darker orange tones. Very pretty. And that's actually a 17-inch strand, so that's super long. And here we have some hematite beads in a very pretty antique copper color. They measure 4 millimeters in size, and this is an 8-inch strand. And these little spacer beads are actually wavy, they're not flat. So that's really, really cool. I love that. And I love this shade of copper. So gorgeous. And that's an 8-inch strand. Let me get the rest of the items. We have a gorgeous bead mix, some lampwork beads, a pendant, and a couple of connectors, or links. They're actually listed as connectors. But let's take a look at these beautiful beads. I'm going to slide some on my rod so you can see how they're drilled. Here are some of them. Obviously, there's a lot more down there. There's a total of 20 grams, so that's a very generous amount. And these are listed as rice beads. They're frosted, as you can see, and the color of this mix is Fall Fever. And as you can see, some of them are longer than others. These measure 6 millimeters, I believe, and these might measure about 10 millimeters across, or 12 millimeters. I love the shape of these beads. And of course, you can make strands with them. You can just string them on beading wire, or you could do some bead weaving. I have to think about it. And these are so beautiful. I don't know if you can see, but they have like a little glittery effect. It's on the green design right there. They're listed as yellow, ochre, olive, swirl, lampwork focals, and they measure 25 by 18 by 8 millimeters. There's the hole. It's pretty large, so you could use leather cord if you wanted to. Let me get a light behind it. Look how beautiful that is. It's really, really pretty. This one's really pretty as well. I love the colors. It's flat on the back, as you can see, and rounded on this side. I'm saying rounded, but I'm referring to the edges because it's not that rounded actually when you look at it like this. Just this edge is. It's listed as a cherry pink sea sediment imperial jasper teardrop pendant, and it measures 45 millimeters in length. And there's the hole. I love it. It's gorgeous. And I love these components. It's an open design, as you can see, which means you could connect to any one of these leaves. Of course, it has a loop right there, and that's why they call it a connector. I think this is actually the front. Maybe not. I think it's actually the same on both sides. Very, very pretty. They're listed as being 15 millimeters across, but I'm not sure about the length. They're obviously a lot longer. I think they're actually 40 millimeters, almost the same as this pendant right here. They're actually the same length, I would say, so 45 millimeters. So now let me arrange everything on my table and we'll take a look at the entire collection. Well, here's the whole collection, and I must say this palette really captures autumn with the beautiful greens, the oranges, ambers, lampwork focals, and all these shimmering crystals are definitely going to give you lots of flexibility. And since we have such a variety of sizes, you have a choice of making statement pieces or dainty pieces. And I love the jade beads, I really do. They kind of give a bit of a forest vibe or nature vibe, and they're perfect for this time of the year because obviously not all the leaves have turned orange yet. Some are still green, since it's the beginning of fall here in the United States. These vocals are definitely showstoppers, and the colors on this pendant definitely pick up the reds from this mix and this strand up there. Overall, I think this collection is very versatile and very well balanced, as always. Like I said in the beginning, they do an amazing job of curating everything. But anyway, guys, if you could leave some comments down below, let me know what you think of this collection and what your favorite beads are. I'd really appreciate it. So now that we're taking a look at the contents, let's go ahead and make a quick bracelet. And I will be making something else using the rest of these beads, so I want you to come back and check my channel for that. But for now, we're just going to make a quick bracelet. So let me get the materials for that. We're going to make a bracelet using this beautiful bead. When I saw the large holes, I knew I had to use leather cord. So I have a piece of leather cord here. It measures about 18 inches. And the reason it's that long is because we're going to be doing some barrel knots. And I know what you're thinking. I know some of you don't like doing barrel knots. You could always just do a plain knot if you want to. I just think the barrel knot is a little bit more decorative. Now to do barrel knots, you're going to need something tubular in shape. I like to use a straw for that. And honestly, I don't know where I got this piece. I might have gotten it from a coffee shop because it's a little bit smaller than a regular straw. So the first thing we're going to do is to slide the leather cord through the bead. And this leather cord fits just right. I believe it's 1.5 millimeters in diameter. And now I need to bring the bead to the center. Let me bring my ends together. That looks about right. I'm actually going to slide that bead off in a few moments because now what I need to do is place a little mark there. So let me put something under my bead. And I'm going to use a Sharpie. And I'm simply going to mark the leather cord right by the hole of the bead. And actually this Sharpie's a little dry. Let me get another one. Let me try this one. That's better. So there's my little mark, as you can see. And you're not going to see it once I do the knot. And here I have my straw. I'm going to place it on top like this with the leather cord on this side of the straw. And now I'm going to go behind, wrap it around, and I'm going to do it 2 more times. Just like that. And now I'm going to take the end and feed it through the straw. Slide my straw out. And let me see where my little mark is. There it is. I'm going to slide my knot down to where the little mark is. And now I'm going to pull on both ends because you want those wraps to be small. And I like to roll them to keep them uniform. And once you tighten them up, these wraps aren't going to go anywhere, guys, so you really don't need glue. I think that's enough. They're not perfect, but it's the best I can do. And that's what it looks like. So now I'm going to slide my bead back on. Bring it down. Because now I need to make a knot at this end. So here's my straw. I'm going to go over 3 times like this. Take the end, feed it through the straw. This leather is actually pretty stiff for some reason. Pull it through, pull the straw off, and slide that knot down to where the bead is. You want those wraps right up against the bead. So once again, I'm rolling and I'm pulling at the same time. And that's good enough. I think it looks really, really cute so far. Now you could just have the cord and nothing else, but I want to add a few beads to the cord. And I have two types here. I have some round ones and some tubular shaped ones. Both types have large holes, as you can see. And I probably got them on Amazon, I really don't remember. If you put in the search metal beads with large holes, you should be able to get some results. Now before I slide these on, I'm going to mark the leather cord again. So let me put my piece of paper down. And let me get my ruler. Now from one barrel knot to the other one, it measures about 1 3/8 of an inch. Let's just make it easy and say 1 1/2. So now we have to do a little bit of math. If you want a 7-inch bracelet, you're going to have to subtract 1 1/2 from 7 inches. But keep in mind that the clasp and the jump rings are going to add to the overall length. I would say they're going to add at least 1/2 inch, maybe more, depending on how big your jump rings are and your clasp as well. So I'm going to subtract 1 1/2 from 6 1/2 instead of 7. So that's 5, and then 5 divided by 2 is 2 1/2. So let me go ahead and measure 2 1/2 inches from the barrel knot, which is about here somewhere. And now let me do this other side. And now I'm going to go ahead and slide my beads on. Let me trim off this end to make it pointy. I'm going to start with one of these round ones, and then a tubular one. Another round one. And a tube. And a round one. Let me place a clip right here. And I'll do this other side. Now before I trim off the ends, I'm going to prepare the cord end tips. And what I mean by that is that I'm going to add some glue inside of them. Let me just place a clip here so I don't lose my beads. I have a couple of cord end tips here in a bronze color. I'm going to use this glue. It's called Loctite Super Glue Ultra Gel Control. Let me go ahead and put some on the end of this piece of wire. You really don't need that much. And now I'm going to go ahead and trim off my leather cord. Let's see where the mark is. There it is. I'm going to place it inside the cord end tip, and this glue dries really quickly, which is why I like using it. I'm going to hold it there for just a few seconds. And now we just need to close up the flaps. So I'm going to use these pliers, and I'm going to close this end first. And now this side. Just like that. Make sure it's smooth. I'm actually going to close it a little bit more. There we go. It gives you a nice finished look. And by the way, I got the cord end tips on Amazon as well. And I don't know what size, honestly, because there's no label, but they always tell you what size cord fits inside these cord end tips. So now I'm going to do the other side the exact same way. And I'm going to do it off camera to save time. So I'll see you in a few moments. Okay, I did the other side. And by the way, you can fill your leather cord with beads if you want to. I chose not to because I love that look. I like that they're kind of floating, which is nice. Plus you can see a lot more of the leather cord. But anyway, I have an extended chain, a clasp, one of these beads that came in the box, 2 4mm size jump rings, and a ball head pin. I'm going to go ahead and embellish the extended chain. So I'm going to slide this bead on. Using my round nose pliers, I'm going to grab the pin right above the bead, bend it, reposition my pliers, wrap the tail around the nose of the pliers, flip the pliers around, wrap to the back. Let me open up this loop, slide my chain into it, like this. I'm going to grab it using these pliers. These have skinny tips, which is why I like using them for this. They're actually crimping pliers. I'm sure you've seen me use them pretty much in every video. And with these, I'm going to grab the tail and do a couple of wraps. Snip off the excess pin. I should have washed my finger off, but I didn't. Oh well. And now let me tuck that little end in. So my extended chain is embellished. I do want to remove some of those links because I don't like having such a long extended chain on a bracelet. So I think I'll remove maybe 4 of them. So I'm going to open up this link. And now let me open up one of these jump rings. These are very thick jump rings. Let me slide this loop into it. And now the clasp. Close it up. You definitely want to close these really well because the loops on these cord end tips are really thin and you don't want them sliding out through the gap of a jump ring. I definitely had too much caffeine this morning because my hands are shaky. So that's it. I think it's adorable. I like these floating beads and I like this embellishment with a green bead. I think it adds to the bracelet. It's definitely a boho style bracelet. Let me drape it over my wrist. Here's what it looks like. It's super cute. It really is. And I am going to put it on again to show you what it looks like from a distance. So I want you to stick around for that. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Have a great day and I'll see you next time. Bye.